Hey guys, I apologize so much for slacking on the videos lately. The end of the semester just caught up to me really fast. I've been working about 40 hours a week and going to school full time, so my schedule has just been completely loaded. But the semester ended a couple days ago, and today is a very big day. Today marks 1 year in the van. I left my little old tiny town in Texas that was suffocating me, moved into the van to be a full-time student and to live on the road. And so this video, I'm gonna just kind of reflect on the past 365 days living in the van. So like I've said in one of my first videos, the little town that I'm from really was kind of suffocating me. I didn't really belong. I was always the kid who wanted to go travel and to go camping and when all my friends wanted to go party. And I honestly have that little town to thank for allowing me to do this, because if I were to stay in my comfort zone that entire time, I don't know if I would have had such a desire to leave or to pursue what I'm doing. I'm very grateful for that little town for giving me the motivation to come out here and do this. I think one of the first things that I picked up on when I left my little town and started living on the road was how supportive and how curious people are about van life. Every single person just about that I've met along the way who I've explained my story to all think that this is the greatest thing that they've ever heard, or that they give me so much encouragement. They're like, I can't believe, you're 21 years old and you're doing this, and you're a full-time student, and this, and that, and this. And it's so encouraging to have complete strangers believe in you. And that's what I've really found is when you have the attitude to manifest your dreams and to prove to the world that you don't have to go with what society tells you. People support you 100%. They back you up. So that's probably the first thing that I recognized when I moved into the van. Another thing I noticed was kind of how easy it is. It's not any different than living in a small apartment. I mean, I guess it is. I don't have running water. I don't have electricity. I don't have a shower, toilet, anything like that. But when you get so used to just living with such little amenities, it really is easy. It's almost too easy now when I go to a friend's house because it's comfortable. And I've learned to love being uncomfortable because it pushes your boundaries. And it makes you see things in a whole new light. And that's kind of really the purpose that I wanted when I started this, was to get a better understanding of life and this beautiful world. And by doing that, you kind of just have to dive right into it. And luckily, I've been able to have good experiences doing that. The first 3 months that I was in the van, I only was using it for kind of weekend purposes and all of that kind of stuff because I was working full-time at a ranch up in Colorado. So when August came around and I just dove into it head first, full-time, it was hard. It was scary. I live in a very high crime-rated city and I'm going to school. I'm a 21-year-old, 5-foot-tall girl who kind of makes an easy target. But the thing is, I've learned to never put myself in a situation where I could be in harm. And you really get to learn where you live. You learn the environment. You learn the neighborhoods. You learn the people. You learn your favorite stores. All of that kind of stuff. And I really kind of have living in the van to thank to give me a better perception on the city that I'm living in, especially going to school. Because so many people are curious about what I'm doing, where I park, where I shower, and being in the van allows me to not only get to know the city, but get to know the campus because I have to use so many amenities on the campus. Probably one of the first things that I really realized when I moved in full-time was weather rules all. When I moved here, it was probably staying in the mid to upper 80s at night, which was miserable. And then all of a sudden, come October, November, it was freezing. It was getting down in the 30s and the 20s and the teens at night. And you kind of just have to learn to be uncomfortable, to know how to dress, to know how to sleep, to know when you need to call a friend and ask to stay at their house. And it's kind of funny how your body changes, how your mentality changes with the weather. After this winter, my ideal sleeping temperature is like 35 degrees outside, which is nuts. Because now that it's been in the 40s and 50s at night, I am so hot. I'm sweating all night. This past year has had its fair share of roadblocks. There's been times where I couldn't even get myself going for the day because I was depressed, or I was just frustrated, or I was anxious that I wasn't going to be able to make it, whether it was with money, or that my grades weren't going to be good enough, or that I couldn't eat that day, or that I was going to be freezing again at night. And there were so many things that made me want to stop doing what I'm doing. But my end goal, my vision, was bigger than all of those. So I wanted more than anything to have a life of freedom, and to graduate college debt free, and to not be tied down, and just to live my dream and show others to live their dreams. And that is what kept me going this past year. Because there was so many times where I would call my mom or my dad or my friends and just cry to them and say I can't do it. I had such a mental barrier that I was so consumed in the little things. Like, I had an essay due and I thought I didn't have enough time to write it, or I wasn't making enough money to pay my tuition. The little things like that controlled my life. But what kind of kept me going was I knew I had this ability to have this life full of freedom. So when something did start to go wrong, I would just take the van, go up into the mountains, or go out to a campsite, to the desert, wherever, and have a night by myself. Not do homework, not call anybody, just to sit out there and reflect and to think and to strategize and all of that kind of stuff. And the van is my own personal space to do that. I created this home for myself. I created this atmosphere. And with that, I'm able to kind of use it as like a meditation room, or I use it as a space to bring me back to reality when I really need it. And so I'm so grateful for the relationship you kind of have with a car, which sounds ridiculous, if we're being honest. But when you build your own home and you're in it 24/7, and a part of you, a part of the van becomes a part of you. And it's very fun. It's kind of challenging, but it's very fun to see how your relationship grows with not only the van, but like your environment and the things around you and the people around you. And that's been really humbling and really fun. And of course, I couldn't have done any of this without the support from my family and my friends and all of y'all, my patrons. I just want to say a huge thank you to the people who have joined my Patreon. And I do apologize for kind of slacking on the videos, but the support that I've gotten from complete strangers is so much more than I could have ever asked for. It honestly is one of the reasons that keeps me going, where people who don't know me, don't know my last name, don't know where I'm at, are giving me such encouraging words and emailing me and reaching out, telling me that I'm their inspiration. That is what keeps me going. So this past year has been an interesting one, and by far the favorite year that I've ever lived. And I cannot wait to see where this is going to take me. Where am I going to be this time next year in the van? Will I hopefully I'll be graduated. I'm set to graduate like today, next year. So it's just, this has been such an amazing year, such an amazing opportunity, and it's just been a great way to experience life outside of your comfort zone and to experience life with a broader view. And I have the van to thank for all of that. And which is, it is kind of a funky concept where you don't really think that something like living in a vehicle and being homeless would change your mind the way it has. But it 100% does. It increases tenfold how you see life. You see beauty, you see adventure, you see excitement in everything you do. And sometimes it's the opposite. You see struggle, and you see heartache, and you see roadblocks. But all of that ties together to make life what it is. And this living in the van has brought that to my realization. And I'm so glad that I took the leap of faith a year ago and converted my mom's minivan into my own home. And I don't think I would ever look back. This has been the best year of my life, and I can't wait to see where it takes me. I just want to thank y'all again for tuning in and being huge supporters of me, and I will see y'all next time.